Stephen A. Smith, this is my 2 cents from a distance on this, and it could well be wrong. But my 2 cents is, from a distance, that LeBron chose not to play because he did not want to get embarrassed back in the city he left. The Miami he used to love, obviously still loves Miami, but the Miami that used to love him, now not so much. LeBron knew, because he has such a high basketball IQ, he had a very valid excuse. The night before in New Orleans, he played 45 minutes in a 114-108 overtime loss. So on short rest and short-handed, without obviously a Kyrie and a Shumpert, he did not want to have to go into his old house against his man Dwayne Wade and a rising Heat team that is going to be a threat to Cleveland in the East, short-handed. And again, on the official play-by-play, it said DMP did not play, quote-unquote, maintenance. So he had the maintenance excuse, even though he said before the year, I want to try to play all 82. He also wanted to reduce his minutes. And since he played such high minutes the night before, he had a legit excuse. I can't blame him for that, but I do think it's sort of vintage, classic LeBron to make the calculated decision. I don't want to risk this without my two big guns beside me here, because I could get embarrassed. We could get blown off the field, off the floor on a back-to-back. So late in the game, as they started or they continue to chant, Bron is tired, Bron is tired, he's going to flash his rings at him, not his championship rings, but the 2 rings he did have, I thought, calculatedly on his finger to say, hey, I remind you guys, I did help you win 2 rings, so you should at least respect me for that. I thought his skin got a little thin because he should have just ignored it and just gone on, because who cares what they would chant at him. But I think LeBron opted not to play this game because he didn't want to get embarrassed. Your thoughts?
Well, I think your points about LeBron being scared about being embarrassed are ridiculous and insulting to him. This man helped the Miami Heat, was primarily responsible, obviously, for them winning 2 championship rings. He's universally recognized as the best player in the world until Steph Curry has come on the scene over these last 22 games and just looked out of this world. LeBron James is not scared of another basketball player. He's not scared of the allure of Miami. I disagreed with his decision to sit for the Miami game, and I'll get into that. I'll get into why I feel that way in just a second. But I just think that the notion that he was scared of being embarrassed, that's just ridiculous. And that's something that's very, very insulting to the best player in the world by far, in a lot of respects, outside of Steph Curry's recent explosion. Now let's get to the real issue at hand. I have a problem with LeBron sitting down, and I was incredibly disappointed in LeBron sitting down because he's LeBron, and I know he knows better. Yeah, you got the team and you've got his inner circle that have been encouraging him to sit and rest. You're going after a championship. It's just a regular season game. That's their mentality. He's averaging close to 37 minutes a night. He's got to carry the load. That's one of the reasons he decided to leave Miami, because the load that Pat Riley had him carrying, sitting Dwayne Wade, LeBron not learning until a few hours before game time, if not an hour before game time, that Dwayne Wade wouldn't be playing on a particular night, is something that really gnawed away at him. And so I understand that level of sensitivity coming from them. But the flip side to it is that this is the place that you helped capture 2 championships. Over the course of 4 years, you missed a grand total of 18 games. That's to be commended. And even though it ain't Cleveland, it's not just another organization. It's those same fans you departed from, just like you departed from Cleveland. Not to mention the fact that because you're one of the preeminent superstars in this world, you and everybody knows that when you go to Miami, everybody has got that mapped out on their schedule, and they're looking forward to you going up against your old team. Part of the allure to send eyeballs to a particular game is because you know those backstories and how it interests you because you're waiting to see what this person is going to do. Dwayne Wade can say what he wants, but he gets up when LeBron is on the other end or is playing in a different uniform. Chris Bosh to a lesser degree. You know LeBron's going to do what he's going to do. It matters to the fans. And so if you're going to sit down, why not sit down for one of the 41 games you've got in Cleveland? Why sit down for a game in Miami when you know everybody and their grandmother is looking forward to that game? Now, does this make LeBron James a bad guy or a pariah? Absolutely not. He's one of the ultimate basketball ambassadors, and I'm proud of him and the whole crew for getting a lifetime Nike deal that they got because he deserves it. And we'll talk about that at a later date. But for the purposes of just this storyline, what makes LeBron James great is the same thing that made Kobe great, that made MJ great and others. Magic, for example. They knew they were the headline, and they fully embraced it and said, we want to show up because we know everyone's looking for us. And LeBron James is somebody that I always found to be that individual. Come hell or high water, by hook or crook, negative or positively, he was going to be there. You know, when he played against Cleveland and they came back from a 27-point deficit and he went on a tear and pulled out his mouthpiece and breathed in front of everybody's direction, that is one of the most memorable moments. One can make the argument that that performance in Cleveland as a Miami Heat was just as memorable as his championships. Why? Because you left Cleveland and you came back and you knew everybody would be watching. So to avoid that in this particular situation just rubbed me the wrong way because you're trying to treat it like it's just another game. And maybe it is to you, LeBron, and maybe it is to your crew. And y'all usually are right on the money with stuff. But y'all are flawed like everybody else. Nobody's perfect. And this was one of those imperfect moments. When you are going up against the Miami Heat, it matters to the viewing public. We wanted to see LeBron against Miami, especially since in the aftermath of that, you got 2 days rest. And even though they're saying he fought it, I don't want to hear that because don't tell me that David Blatt or David Griffin made LeBron James do anything. You did it because you wanted to. And I'm just disappointed in that because I wanted to see him.
Okay, so you're disappointed. It rubbed you the wrong way. So why didn't he play? Give me the psychology behind it. Why?
I honestly don't know. That's not a question that I even thought to ask it. Once I heard that he wasn't injured in any way, to me, there's nothing that he could have said that should have excused him not playing. He's LeBron James. He's box office. You're the headliner. And Miami, the fans that you helped bring 2 championships to and 4 consecutive NBA Finals appearances, they were looking forward to seeing you because they don't get to see you much anymore. And if you want to ask me just my opinion as to why I think it, I think to some degree it's exactly what they said. They're not lying about the rest or anything like that. They didn't lie about anything. But I also think LeBron being in attendance to play helps Pat Riley's organization as well. And LeBron James is not inclined to help Pat Riley. He does not hate the man or anything like that. But you're the enemy now to Pat Riley. You left. And Pat Riley is old school. And LeBron's attitude is, I gave you all I had for 4 years. Don't treat me like I owe you anything. So no, it's not hatred or anything like that. But he did not depart under the greatest circumstances with Pat Riley. I don't have enough time to get into it. I explained it to you in the past, but I am telling you right now, LeBron is tight with D. Wade and Bosh, but he ain't tight at all with Pat Riley.
Was there some condescension here in that I'm not going to recognize Miami as a real threat? I'm going to treat him like it's another game in Philadelphia, and about 45 minutes, I'm just not going to play this game against whoever this team is?
Well, he doesn't consider Miami that big of a threat as of yet. He knows they're solid, but that big of a threat, Cleveland expects to beat Miami. So because of that, and I know how much he loved the fans, he always loves the fans. He's always appreciative of the fans. I think to some degree on the side, this had something to do with also snubbing his nose at Pat Riley, too. But I'm not sure.
Okay.
I didn't ask.
I still stand by my original theory, but that's just me.
Very
He's not
interesting
scared
takes.
to be embarrassed. That's ridiculous.
No, it's true.
We have to leave it there. Stephen A., you alluded to the lifetime deal. We don't have the exact numbers, but a source close to it says it easily surpasses the 10-year, $300 million deal signed by Kevin Durant this last summer, the first lifetime deal in Nike's 44-year history. Congratulations to him.
LeBron deserves it. He deserves that.
Yes, up next, we switch gears to college football. Kirby Smart will stay with Alabama through the playoffs, even though he's been named head